Hello, congrats, we're back with some more Buffalo Sabres franchise mode in FHM 12. And the last one, we went through the entire Year 5 regular season simulation, actually playoffs as well. Those were initially supposed to be two separate videos, but I ended up combining them. The first one, the regular season simulation ended up being much shorter than I expected. Anyway, so we're here on July 1st, and we have some things to do. So first off, I have approached Ryker Evans, who is a free agent, as you see. So he ended up being glitched, as it turned out, because he had a contract where he had zero salary for 1 year. And then he also had an extension that I didn't give him, mind you. And that was also for zero salary for 1 year. So I figured he was glitched. I released him to free agency and I reapproached him with the contract that I initially offered him, which was $4.5 million for 3 years. So hopefully he accepts. If not, then oh well. And there's a couple other players that I want to sign as well, which would include Ryan Ufko, who is 27 years of age, right defenseman, so a potential John Marino replacement. He's a 2.5-star ability, 3-star potential, not that that really matters at 27, and then the offensive ratings, pretty good. Offensive reads at 18, puck handling and passing is at 17. Defensive ratings are pretty good. Hitting's only at 11. Other than that, he's pretty solid defensively. Physically, he's pretty solid, and mental ratings are pretty good as well. Determination is at 17. Team player is at 16. Leadership is at 16. So I like the looks of Ryan Ufko. We will approach him with the contract offer. He wants 5.37 for 3 years. That's effectively what Marino wanted, but the difference between Ufko and Marino is that Ufko is 6 years younger, 27. Marino's 33. I wasn't willing to give Marino that kind of contract because I figured he was going to drop off sooner rather than later. So we're going to give Ryan Ufko, I'm going to start out at 5.75, I think. Maybe I'll go 5.85 just to make sure. So offer him that. And then next on the list, I'm going to be getting a third-string goaltender. That will be Dylan Garand, 2-star ability. Nothing special, just someone to fill in a backup goaltender role in case we need him. So I'll give him 1.5 for 2 years. And then I think the next thing we're going to do, we're probably going to send down LaBerge. Assuming we can get Evans and Ufko, then we're going to be sending down LaBerge to the AHL. I may even trade him if need be because his defensive ratings as a defenseman are not good. 23 years of age already. I mean, he's got a good offensive category, so he could be a decent replacement defenseman if need be for some offense, but he's not really the kind of guy you want to rely on defensively, it doesn't seem like. So he's certainly not going to be a mainstay on the roster there. And you also have Reddy Murka, only a 1.5-star ability. He has a 3.5-star potential, but he's already 23. I can't imagine he's going to hit that 3.5-star. So I might just keep him around as a backup defenseman. He looks better than LaBerge at least in terms of defense. Because if we take a look at the defensive category, yeah, he's much better than LaBerge defensively. And he's got that 18 puck handling too. So honestly, I like Murka as the 1.5-star better than LaBerge at the 2.5-star. So yeah, I think we'll keep Murka around, possibly as the 7th defenseman if we can't find anybody else. But I think our defensive core, assuming we get Evans and Ufko, is going to be Dahlin, Byram, Evans, Ufko, Morrow, Faber. Then you also have Elofsson, who's also that 1.5-star ability. I might still want to get one more veteran defenseman to fill in there on the 7th defenseman just in case.
This game stinks.
All right, we're back in the game. At least we didn't do too much yet. But that's the first time this game has crashed on me. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. So I'll reoffer Ufko and Garand to what I offered them before. And then I think I'll go after Timothy Liljegren as a 7th defenseman. He's a 2-star ability, 31 years of age. Actually, he wants 4.3. All right, then instead we will go for Ethan Del Mastro. He's also a 2-star ability, 27 years of age. Defensive ratings, not bad. Physical ratings could be better, but they're serviceable. Mental ratings, not bad. Offensive ratings, I mean, he's got the passing at 16, puck handling at 15. That's all I could really ask for, I think, out of a replacement defenseman. Played last season with Chicago, 56 games played, 18 points, 62 grades. So long as he doesn't want too much, yeah, I'll give him 1.5 for 2 years. Now, in terms of forwards, I would like to get somebody to potentially replace Greenway, because Greenway is 33 and was asking for quite a bit of money. I think it was $5 million that he was asking for over 3 years. I didn't want to, the same reason I didn't want to give Marino the contract he was asking for, because it's just, too much money for too much term when he's getting towards his mid-30s, and I didn't really want to give him that kind of contract. So if there's anybody else who is like a similar type player to Greenway and doesn't want too much money, then I think I'd like to go after them. So obviously there's Greenway, who we released. He's only a 2.5-star ability now, 18 hitting, 17 checking. I mean, okay, he only wants 2 years now. Before he was asking for 3. I guess it's not that bad. Because what are we at right now in cap? With 79.8, so effectively 80 million. We've offered out 13.3, so that takes us to 93. Oh no, we're not going to have, that's not going to be nearly enough. Yeah, no, I don't think we're going to be able to afford that. I don't think we're going to be able to afford that. Yeah, in fact, I think it would be smart to hold off on signing anybody else until we know what's happening with these guys, because I think we might be right up against the cap ceiling after all these signings. So that said, we will advance to the draft lottery on July 5th. All right, here we go. Time for the draft lottery. Obviously, we were not in it as we were in the playoffs last year. So at number 16, you have Montreal. So Toronto moves up with the least chance to move up, but they do. Wow. I don't think that's ever happened before in any of these franchise modes where the team in 16th moves up here in the draft lottery. So number 15, you have Colorado, followed by Washington, San Jose, Nashville, Vancouver, Boston again, Philly, Pittsburgh. Toronto moves up to number 6. And then you have Seattle, LA, Columbus, and Calgary at number 1, followed by Tampa at number 2. All right, it's time for the draft now. So we're picking at number, where are we picking? 25. So this unfortunately does not look like too deep of a draft, at least in terms of top end talent. So I think we'll probably end up getting a 2.5-star potential, maybe a 3-star for lucky, but I can't imagine this is going to be a too active of a draft for us here. So let's just simulate ahead to our pick at number 25. And Seattle's looking to trade for the 25th overall pick in exchange for the 39th and Montreal's 3rd from 2031. I mean, who's available for us? A couple of 1-star abilities available. They're all centers. Dryston Thomas, good passer. Good acceleration. Sean Dale, screening at 16. Determinations at 17, like that. And then Alex Dubé, 18 puck handling and 16 passing. Not a great physical category, though. I don't know. It's a bit of a toss-up between Thomas and Dale. I like Dale's mental ratings, at least in terms of his determination and temperament. But Thomas seems like the slightly more skilled guy here. Then again, Dale's offensive category is also pretty good. 16 screening, 16 shooting accuracy. I think he would make a pretty good grinder now that I think about it, or at least defensive forward. 14 faceoffs, 12 checking, 13 positioning, 15 defensive read. Yeah, I kind of like Sean Dale here. So I'm going to reject this trade from Seattle because I do like these two here in Thomas and Dale, so I'll put them on the draft list. That said, we don't exactly need centers at this point. We have Thompson, Benson, Ostlund, Stenberg, Pedersen, and Eklund asked. By the way, I fixed Stenberg's name. Apparently his name was spelled wrong. I was clued into that by a comment. So it's now Stenberg with the E instead of Stenberg with the U. But yeah, we have a plethora of centers here, so I'm not sure if that's the route I want to go. I mean, I typically like to take the best player available, right? Whenever I'm not sure which position I want. And even if I am sure that I know for sure that we need a certain position, if there's a skilled player out there that is obviously the best player, then I'm going to take the best player, right? So that said, I'm not sure if there's an obvious choice here. So I'm going to keep looking for a bit. You have Gustav Schonberg. I kind of like Chad Valentino as a potential 4th line grinder type player, because he doesn't have that offensive read really, only at 11, 14 puck handling, only has 11 passing as well, but his defensive ratings are decent, at least. Defensive reads at 15, positioning is at 13, checking and hitting already at 12. Physical ratings are okay. Mental ratings are okay as well. Determinations at 15. So I like that. I like his personality. Coaches like his work ethic, and that stands out to me. So I do like Valentino here, so I'm going to keep an eye on him. So we have an Italian here, Gianfilippo Pozza, who apparently is supposed to go, or was supposed to go, number 12. Like his personality, strengths and weaknesses, doesn't have too many strengths, but none of his weaknesses are a serious liability. I don't know if he's my first pick, but he's interesting at least. All right, so beyond the 4 that we've already looked at, I didn't really find much in terms of players I was too interested in. So I guess it's going to have to be one of these 4. And once again, I think Pozza was the highest ranked at number 12. Valentino's at 100, Dale's at 45, Thomas is at 71. Yeah. In terms of who I like the most rating wise, I mean, that's definitely between Dale and Thomas. Because Valentino, I mean, he looks decent, but he's certainly not better than either of these 2. And then Pozza, I think, would be the weakest in that category. So let's compare all these guys here. Mentally, I would have to give it to Thomas, I think, is that leadership at 14. Really good. I like that. That said, his professionalism was only at 10. So it's a bit of a mixed bag here in terms of mental. Physically, I think I would have to give it to Thomas for sure. He's got that 14 strength, which is the highest of these 4. 16 acceleration. 15 balance, which is also the highest, 13 speed. So yeah, I think overall I give physical to Thomas. Offensively, once again, it's close between Thomas and Dale. Dale has the 16 screening. Thomas has the 14 getting open. Thomas has the 17 passing compared to 14. 14 puck handling compared to 13. Then you have 16 shot accuracy compared to 15. And then both have 14 offensive reads. So there's really not too much difference, but overall, I think I give this slight edge to Thomas. And then defensively, I think I also got to give this one to Thomas. It's a very slight advantage for Thomas over Dale here, but I think I give him the slight edge defensively as well. Honestly, everything's pointing to Dryston Thomas here. I like his personality, strengths and weaknesses. His strongest part of his game is his playmaking ability. He's a good skater, above average strength, pretty good ability to read the play, in pretty good physical shape. Weakest part of his game is his physical play, and he does get hurt a bit more than average. However, he does struggle to grasp new concepts. So I'd imagine maybe he struggles with learning new systems, right? Whereas with Sean Dale, he performs better under pressure. So I really like that personality trait. Plays a clean game, doesn't let criticism get him down. Strongest part of his game is his playmaking ability. Skating's pretty good, above average stamina, pretty good vision. His weakest part of his game is his physical play, and he's made out of glass, as we see. His injury tendencies, like we saw before, fragile everywhere in his body. Yeah, I'm taking him. Dryston Thomas, welcome to the Buffalo Sabres. There you go. Ooh, okay, so Philadelphia may be willing to trade this pick for the right package. So maybe we take back-to-back, we get Dale and Thomas, or maybe Valentino, get the winger in there. Let's just see what Philly wants. Let's just see what they would want out of this trade. So maybe if I put LeBerge in here, because they do want lefty. They also want goalies. I'm not sure if we have any goalies to give away. I mean, there's Wadströmer, who's 22, still only a half-star ability. What's he been doing in his career so far? 923 save percentage last year in 17 games played. He had an 888 the year before. I mean, you also have Malak. You have Samuel Malak at the 1-star ability, 3.5-star potential, 22. So he looks further along than Wadströmer, at least in terms of his development. I don't know how either of them are going to simulate, mind you, because obviously goaltenders are, you really never know with them in this game. That said, Wadströmer does have the, if he's on your roster, controversy will follow trait. So maybe I include him in this package in exchange for Philly's first. So you have LeBerge and Wadströmer for a first-round pick coming back the other way. That doesn't quite sit right with me, so I'm going to add a little bit more value going back the other way. I think I'll add a fourth. So LeBerge, Wadströmer, and a fourth for Philadelphia's first-round pick. Finalized trade. There it is. Nice. So now with this pick, we could either take Dale or Valentino. I can't imagine it's going to be Pozza, because he unfortunately seems like a bit of a project. Yeah, I like Dale for the most part. But that injury tendency, his entire body being fragile, I don't know. I feel like he's going to be injured more often than not. And again, what I really like about Valentino is that coaches really like his work ethic. So yeah, I think we'll take Chad Valentino here with this pick. Welcome to the Buffalo Sabres. All right, next pick at number 57. Ponsa just got taken, but there are still some 2.5-star potentials here, so at least some guys worth looking at. All right, I like UC Vita here. He's a left defenseman with the half-star ability, 2.5-star potential. None of his ratings really stand out as a strength, so he's going to be a project. That said, I like his personality. He takes success in stride and doesn't let himself get complacent, doesn't let criticism get him down. He's very flexible and thrives on change. And then also we take a look at his strengths and weaknesses. The strongest part of his game is his intangibles, so I really like that as well. He's above average strength, very good stamina. Skating is pretty good, decent on ice vision. Weakest part of his game is his goal scoring, but none of his weaknesses are a serious liability. So I really like that about UC Vita, and I think we'll be taking him with this pick. Welcome to the Buffalo Sabres, UC Vita. I think next we'll be taking Marcel Simbolnik. He's the half-star ability, 2.5-star potential, 2-star according to the consensus. He's got some okay ratings in there. Looks like he's going to be a screener. He's got that 15 screening. He's got a good personality, gets a lot of respect for his clean, sportsman-like approach to the game, can be counted on to avoid dwelling on his failures, and gets along well with everyone. In terms of his strengths and weaknesses, his strongest part of his game is his skating. Coaches report that he's willing to learn like that. Weakest part of his game is his physical play. He's not very strong, and he'll get injured a little bit more often than you'd like, but I still think he is the best choice at this point of the draft. So welcome to the Buffalo Sabres, Marcel Simbolnik. All right, we're at pick 153 now in the 5th round. I think we'll just take the 2.5-star potential goaltender in Kirill Gusev. Not really too much impressive about him at first glance. Decent personality. Strongest part of his game is his intangibles, as always for goaltenders. So can't really go wrong here, I don't think. Just a safe pick for a goaltender. So Kirill Gusev, welcome to the Buffalo Sabres. And we're still in the 5th round here, pick 158, a few picks later. And there's not really much at this point that's jumping out to me. I'll take a quick look just as a once over, but I think we're just going to be skipping the rest of the draft here. Yeah, I'm just going to skip the rest of the draft. Not much I'm interested in. All right, now let's advance and see if we got all of our free agents. Perfect. We got Garand. We got Evans back. We got Del Mastro, and we got Ufko. Very nice. So we got all 4 of our guys. Now it looks like John Marino signed with Dallas, and then Jordan Greenway signed with Pittsburgh. So I wish them the best of luck, but of course not against us. And inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame this year are Andrei Markov, Dave Babbitt, Reed Larson, and Kevin Hatcher. Ooh, apparently there's already a rift in the locker room involving Christoph Misek, who's the rookie who has not even played a game yet. He's got the controversy will follow personality. Of course, I knew that drafting him, but I did not think he would already be causing issues before he even plays a game. So you're going to have to keep an eye on that for sure. If it gets much worse, then I think we'll probably just end up trading him for someone of equal value. All right, we're at the end of the preseason, and here is our roster heading into year number 6. You have Levi and Leanders in net. On defense, you have Dahlin, who's currently injured. He'll be back in 2-3 weeks, though. Then you have Byram, Faber, Evans, Morrow, Ufko, and Del Mastro. And at forward, you have McKenna, Thompson, Ostland, Hellenius, McLeod, Benson, Nuchev, Misek, Beryazkin, Aram Olsen, Lekanen, Stenberg, Pedersen, and Eklund Asp. But with that all done, it's been a pretty eventful episode, so I think we'll end things off here. But not before, of course, I thank the channel members. Thank you guys so much for all your support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.